This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined here by our friend and Chief, I love calling you this, Chief Clutter Clearing Officer. That's the CCCO of A Plus Clutter Clearing Service based out of beautiful Boca Raton, Florida. David Hall, welcome back. How are you today?
Thank you, Jill, for that warm introduction. I am terrific. It is a
Aw.
little cooler this time of year. We had a cold spell. It dropped all the way to 50 degrees in South Florida.
Oh, my
long,
goodness.
long,
Like,
long underwear, boots. Everybody's pulling out their winter stuff. It's not fair. It's just not right.
oh my goodness. Well, we're excited that you're here and really, want to talk more about this work you're doing because I am on a roll. You've inspired me. I was in my bathroom. I was off of work yesterday. I was in my bathroom all day. I'm still not done, but I
Wow.
feel like $1,000,000. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning and kept working on it. I'm almost done, but that's like one room in the house. But once you start a project of decluttering, do you feel the energy? I feel so
Absolutely.
amazing. You know how many bags of garbage I took out from underneath my, like, why do I keep all the soaps and stuff from hotels? I don't need it. Like, all these expired lotions, I don't need it. I got rid of so much stuff in just the bathroom. It's a start. And then I'm going to back up and go into my closet next and then tackle everything. I have to. And then the key was you said getting up early. And today was the first day I got up at 4 a.m. I kid you not. And I feel so
Wow.
inspired. So I'm sorry I have to start off by this, but it's just
That's
the weight is lifting very
I can tell.
slowly.
I can tell
But
there's an energy shift. You have high energy anyway, but I can tell today you're really superlative. You're just over the top with joy and a sense. It sounds like a sense of freedom.
it
Getting rid of those
does.
old lotions. Oh my gosh. You know, there's a lot of times with clutter clearing, people collect, you ready? Matches. I know when I was growing up, collecting matches from restaurants was like a thing. Where you went, you got a souvenir. You might use the matches to light a candle. Nowadays, with lighters everywhere and not people not smoking all that much, what are we doing with all these matches? I say set them on fire in a safe place, maybe in the kitchen sink or outside, so the smoke alarm doesn't go off. But
Wait.
just like lotions that we collect from hotel stays, which has value, it's enough already when you have 300 different
David, I did the downstairs bathroom last week when we spoke. I think I told you I did a little bathroom. That was a good start. But I have a bag of all these matches, and I put some of the matches in the bathroom next to the candle in a cup. So people are using those matches now. I'm going to get rid of the matches. Like, I feel like I have to use them. So I cannot
Absolutely.
believe that we're both on the same page.
We
You
are
and
we're
pens. I found a lot of pens. Oh my goodness. Too many pens.
there's always too many pens, and pens are the kind of thing, people say you get nothing for nothing. There's no free lunch. I found that there's free matches, free pens, and free business cards, and I guess to top it off, free advice. People just love to give you their point of view. So there are some things you can get for free. Um, let's get right into it. And I'm so proud of you. I'm so delighted to hear that you are experiencing the decluttering energy, which is something that I'm so happy to share with our viewing and listening audience. And today, I thought I'd wear my Dr. Declutter shirt. Do you see it?
I
I'm a,
was
I'm a,
wondering. You look like you're in a lab coat. Oh my God, I
I'm a
didn't read it.
doctor. I'm a doctor of decluttering. And so today I wore my lab coat because I'd like to answer viewer mail, viewer questions, those that are listening on the podcast and all around the world. We'd love to answer some of the questions that you have out there. So, how does that sound, Jill? Is that all right?
Sounds amazing. Thank
Uh,
you so much.
and if
Bring
this
it
works out, we'll
on.
do it again next week. There's so many
Sure.
questions that people have.
Go
Our
ahead.
first
Starting
question is
with,
from Nancy from New England says, how do I get started decluttering? I'm just so overwhelmed. And I want to say, Nancy, you're not alone. So, how do you get started with decluttering? In my view, it's mindset. There's got to be an acceptance of, I have a problem, I have a condition, I have something that has just been bugging me for days, weeks, or months. And now I want to do something about it. I want to clear the clutter, to clear the mind. So, the first step really is to accept that you want to take on this project as opposed to the opposite, which can happen, which is Not today. I got too many other things. Oh, I got a soccer game. I got to pick up the kids. Hey, I got to do laundry. Oh my God, I have a stamp collection I haven't looked at in 20 years. And people do everything but decluttering because they're not in the right mindset. They're not in the frame of mind that says, I'm ready to take on a project. So, really, the absolute first thing is to accept that you have this clutter that you'd like to remove. And then you take on the steps of my smart system, which is available on my website, aplusclutterclearing.com. Or S stands for start simply, M stands for mindset, A stands for action, and
Wow.
R stands for reuse, repurpose, recycle. And T is the result of doing these steps, transformation. The idea that we let go of things to free our minds for bigger projects. So we're not worried about laundry, magazines, old mail. Why would we want to worry about stuff like that? It doesn't seem like that's really our focus. But yet, when we have all these distractions, it's hard to focus on anything else. So, Nancy from New England, how do I get started decluttering? I'm so overwhelmed. The simple answer is accept that this is something that you can do. And when you have that positivity, I think that you get momentum. You get a chance then to say, oh my gosh, I can do this. And start with a simple area, the laundry room, a top drawer in the kitchen, one little area in the bathroom. You started in the bathroom, Jill. I think that's because it's a very important room to have clean because it's usually smaller than every other room in the house.
Yep.
So you can verify that that's a good place to start because it's finite. There's only a couple of cabinets, a couple of behind the mirror. What do you call that? The medicine
Vanity.
cabinet.
Yep.
And by the way, medicine cabinets are a spot that people often forget, including me just now, because we don't look behind that mirror. We just accept that there's a mirror. No, there's a hinge and a door. And then when you open it up and you find medicines from 1847, like from Ben Franklin, there's ways to dispose safely, by the way, of old medicines that are expired. Do you know what that is, Jill?
No. Oh, do you
So,
add them
what
into water? Do you dilute
Well,
them?
so there's different points of view. I'm not saying my answer is the only answer, but what I read about from hazmat certification systems, the idea is to take the pills out of that orange pill jar and put them in the garbage loose. Do not put them down the toilet. Do not flush them down the drain because what happens is that goes into our water system, and there is proof about this. The animals, the fish, they're all on Prozac, so the fish are swimming like a little bit more lazily. So it's very important to not flush medicines down the toilet. The reason what we separate the pills from the jar is so that junkies or people looking in dumpster diving or anybody that is just looking for
Mm-hmm.
medicine in a way that's not healthy jar in the canister and it says, this is 100 milligrams of XYZ, then people generally say, oh, that's something I could misuse and mistreat. So the safest way to do it is just dump it in the garbage, not down the drain, and empty those vials of medicine so you can't identify. So there's a helpful hint right away.
Love
Um,
it.
any questions so far?
Speaking of bathrooms, I don't know. Did you get a text message or you don't have your phone near you?
I do have my phone. Did you just text me?
I think I did. I don't know.
Hang on. Did you want to text me or do you
Yes,
want to?
I did. I was waiting to hear a ping, or I didn't know if that was even your cell phone number that I call.
Oh, this was me yesterday after the pictures when I'm
Okay.
done. Oh, that's
But look, no,
fantastic.
look, zoom in. Look at all the tampons, the lotions. That was my bathroom.
Wow. See, that's the thing. Clutter clearing is a good project because you get to see all the stuff that people use in their daily life. Wow. Oh my God. I think you need me to pay a visit. I definitely want to come up there and and and
Wait till
clear,
I show
clear
you.
your
I'll
clutter.
I'll be sending you the rest. But okay, I started. But like,
Fantastic.
yeah, I was telling you before the show, I was in my bathroom ripping at thing, and it took all day yesterday. Again, I have kids, so I can't work in full pace. I need to work alone, and it's still not done. But I woke up at 4 in the morning and I continued, so it's getting better. It's almost done.
I see a pair of nice shoes. I wonder what those are doing in the bathroom.
Exactly,
The
right?
mind goes wild.
Oh no, no, no. It was from like I went out to dinner like a month ago and they've been on the floor because I just throw crap on the floor. What else is there? Chargers, Amazon bags. I mean,
Yep, yep. A lot of
like
nail
all these
files.
lotions that are expired. I'm like, I mean, really? Do I need all this stuff? I don't get it. Oh, and there's tweezers. How many oh, there's a Halloween decoration. There's clip
Paper
nail
clips, a
clippers.
couple of, oh, there's a adorable. What is that? A little ghost of something.
Oh
What's
yeah,
it?
that's the
They're adorable.
Halloween decorations for my bedroom that are not put away and are trickling into the hall because the cats kick them or I kick it.
I see a couple of menu items. I see some pills. What a mess. I see your foot. Very nice toe. I think that's a left foot. Very
Thank
sweet.
you. No
All right.
shame. Nail
We'll do
files.
that more offline, but I think for our audience, they're not really seeing the pictures. But I can
Yeah.
tell you it was a mess, and I'm glad to hear, and I'd like to see some after pictures. Did you send some afters?
No, I didn't take an
Not yet.
after picture. It's
Not
not
done.
done. I have to do it in the daylight tomorrow. Go
Understood.
ahead. So continue.
All right. So that's from Nancy from New England, how to get started. And I just gave you that, my best response.
Great.
Here's a question from Olga, who's overwhelmed. And
Oh.
she says, if my husband is a slob, how do I get him to be neat and orderly? This comes up
Ooh.
a lot, Olga. So what I'd like to say is this. When we do organizing, home decluttering, and straightening things out, it's always, always best to look at ourselves first before we start to point the finger at our spouses, our significant others. Nothing good, and I tell you, I've seen this in many times, nothing good comes out of saying, you're the pig, you're the slob, you're the one that's making this house a mess. You know what happens when you do that? People get defensive, they shut down, they don't want to really be a part of the conversation, and they're certainly not going to clean their clutter based on that. So blaming others, shaming others, pointing the finger just doesn't seem to work. So what to do? What to do? I like to think that you incorporate the person that is maybe the focus of the clutter,
Yeah.
incorporate them, work with them. You may want to have them work with you on a project. Here, honey, let me show you how I fold my laundry. Oh, please, I'd rather do nothing than
Uh-huh.
that, you know. But if it's not is focus on yourself so the other person can feel at ease and not
Hmm.
under pressure or be defensive about their organization or lack of organization skills. Usually by example, the other person will come around and say, you know what? I hear what you're saying. I'm going to start to fold my tissues as I throw them in the garbage can. Something, you know, you want to get some concession, small at first, so that they feel trusted, loved, and heard. Because again, if you point that finger out, you want to send it right back to yourself and say, I am an example of clarity, decluttering, and organization. And based on my example, I can help you, my family member, my love of my life, be more orderly in a way that works for both of us. Sounds good. So I'm going to stick with that answer.
Sure does.
Any thoughts about that? Do you have a significant other or the kids that just
I don't. It's the
don't
kids.
participate?
But I feel like the kids are just kids. So I gotta you can only do so much. But I don't have a spouse. I don't live with anyone, thank goodness, because I can't stand if I'm dating someone and they leave the damn toilet bowl seat up or they wear their shoes in my house and they don't respect it. And I think that's probably why I am single because I'm so OCD with cleanliness. And even though I have pals, my pals are freaking clean people. Hello. But I can't
Hello.
handle other people's mess. They have to be as anally OCD as me, I think. So
Well,
that's half my battle.
before you bring somebody home, it's important to see, are they, when you go out to let's say a bar for a drink, let's say you're having a blind date, I'm just making it up.
Sure, sure.
You know, the first thing that we see is visual. So, you know, you could tell if somebody's fastidious, if their hair is outrageous, if they race to get to the bar restaurant, you know that they're, you know, not a person who plans well, let's say. So you get all these cues right from the get-go. And then after you talk to them, they start talking marble mouth, or they're looking the other way, or they're looking at other people at the bar while they're supposed to be interested in you. Immediately, you could just say, this person's not for me. On the other hand, if they wear well-heeled shoes, they look beautiful and everything is put in place, you know, they have a chance to at least get to finish the drink with you. And I bet you're a tough customer because I believe that you do know what you like. I believe that you are uh, a person who has integrity and a distinction of, I like nicer things in life. You just
I
come across
do,
that
but I
way.
also like men that have clean nails. Do you know, I did go on a date like a year and a half ago, and this guy's nails were like black, and he didn't work in construction. I was
Ah,
like, ew, like I can understand if you're working with your hands, but no, how could you have hands like this? I'm like,
yeah, and
ew.
I would say to that guy, you want me to hold your hand? Look at you. You're a mess. You're a pig. You're
Yeah,
disgusting. I'm out of here.
little things like that, or you get in their car and there's dirt all over the car and like it's filthy inside and there's all chaos on the seats and they have to like move papers. And that was another thing. I'm like, ew, at least you know you're picking me up on a date. Why all of a sudden you moving stuff off of your seat? Like that should have been planned. At least hide your clutter to
It seems
impress
like you would
me.
it would seem like you would have some common sense and you would have your best presentation at the first meeting. So yes, vacuum the car, clean the car, get your garbage out of the car, unless you want to show the other person that this is who you are, in which case, see you later, alligator.
Yeah,
So we can talk about dating later. We'll go
good.
back to clutter clearing, but I hear you. I read you loud and clear. Clean nails. And you know what? I'm going to tell you one other thing about dating and the opposite sex. I believe that a nice set of teeth and a clean smile is indicative of the hygiene of the person that you're working with or dealing with. So if that smile is nice and bright and white, if there's not big pieces of spinach in those teeth, and and anything else other than a beautiful smile, I think that's very indicative too of how a person takes care of themselves. Comments?
Yes. No, I agree 100%. Absolutely,
Right?
positively. Absolutely.
Look
Yep.
at your face. You're full of teeth. I mean, you have more
And these
teeth
are
than I
the
have.
I'm very blessed. They're all real. I've had braces later in life. Not I had crooked teeth when I was little, and my parents couldn't afford braces. But when I was 20, I got my Invisalign, and I still wear my retainers because I feel, and I try to teach my children this about the
Uh,
importance of presentable smile, whether it's fake or not. But try to keep them real and natural. You know, it's just it bothers me when I see
that's
people
right.
like
That's
their
right. It's
teeth
a
are
gift
falling
to have
out.
your
I
teeth.
feel bad. Some people genetically can't help it, but like I can't. Like I need clean. Sorry. Yep. 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 Yep.
But you can keep them clean. You can do the flossing. You can brush. You can do Invisalign. I mean, there's ways around it. So that's a turnoff for me. I was asked on different occasions for different documentaries. What are you first attracted to when you meet a woman? And I say a
Mm.
nice, clean smile. So
Yeah.
that's my thing.
Yeah. I'm with you on
And
that. Thank
now
you.
we continue.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Good. Eye to eye, nose to nose. Okay. Oh, Carl from Connecticut has this question. What's the one thing you don't tell someone who has a clutter child? I would say that's a good question because when you're a professional in the clutter clearing business, you certainly want to ingratiate and build trust. So the first thing I do is compliment.
Yeah.
Beautiful home. Wow, I love what you've done. What color is that on the wall? Oh, that's brown. Oh, that's a stain. You don't want to point out a negative and go, this is the junkiest house I've ever seen. Who cleans this? Nobody? So the answer is to not turn someone off, especially on the first hello. You want to compliment them. And I think we should do that in everyday life, not just in clutter clearing visits. Um, I think we've lost track of being complimentary. So that is a big philosophical foundation for me. Be complimentary. It's a lot easier than being negative and pointing out and being judgmental. I also like to say to clients, I'm not here to judge, I'm here to observe. And it lightens the pressure of I feel embarrassed or I feel less than or I feel incompetent because I don't
Yeah.
know how to keep my house in order. So by letting people know that I'm observing, it just means I'm looking around. I'm not placing judgment and saying this is disgusting. So to Carl from Connecticut, what's the one thing you don't tell them? Boy, this house is terrible. This is so. I can't believe you live here, and your
I
kids live here too. So those are things not to say.
I cannot tell a lie. I
Uh-oh, what
would.
happened?
I would. Because now, if you walk into my house
Ah,
at this moment, all my Halloween decorations have to go in the attic or downstairs in my living room. I'll send you a picture of that later. There's boxes, there's stuff all over. Someone walks in now, they'd be like, holy cow, you live like this? And I'd be like, yeah, I know it's a
that's just
lot.
this week while I'm decluttering. I mean, you can say that too.
Yeah, yeah, make an
And this is
excuse.
my
It'll be
second
there
house.
until
You
like
should see
next Christmas.
my first house looks great. You should see my other house. So that's another way to
Good
go.
one. Good one.
Just have one, two, three, four more questions.
Go
Almost
for it.
time. Okay. Patty from Pembroke Pines, local. What's the first step when you start working on a project? So we talked about mindset, first of all, and we talked
Mm-hmm.
about the smart system. But really, the first thing I like to tell people is to clear a countertop, whether it's a kitchen, a bathroom, a bedroom dresser, anywhere in the house that there's a flat surface of stuff on that surface. The first place to start after getting your mindset, glass of wine, good music, etc. Take everything off the surface. Don't think about where it goes. Take it off the surface quickly and put it in a safe place, whether it's on the floor or another counter. Just get everything off the counter quickly. Why do I say quickly and without thought? Because you want to see progress. And when you clear that counter of everything off of it, you feel already, oh, I see that this is a possibility
Yep.
better than 500 things on the counter. And yes, I need to know where everything is. And if I don't see it, I won't know where it is. That I hear a lot. But let's clear the counter first. Second step,
Okay.
wash down the counter, whether it's with a spray, a paper towel, a rag, or a soap and water. Clear that space, clean it up. And now the big secret. Here's the big
Ooh, ooh,
reveal.
ooh.
When I start to think about what do I put back on that counter, let's take it as a bathroom counter vanity top for a second. And you're working on your bathroom. So the thing to do is be, and here's my magic word, deliberate. So to declutter, where is that? Oh, it's over here. To declutter, you need to be deliberate. That means purposeful. What you put on that counter matters. If you just put a whole pile of stuff on the counter, then you're back where you came from. So you don't want to be back where you started. You want to be deliberate. So let's say on a bathroom vanity, you need to have a toothbrush. Fair enough. Use it every day. Hopefully use it twice a day. Put your toothbrush in a nice jar, in a nice spot, in a place where you'll see it, you'll appreciate it, and it's there for you. Okay, so that's pretty obvious. Sometimes people have a cup for rinsing out their mouth. Put that around the counter. But then it gets a little hairy.
Mm-hmm.
Brushes, speaking of hairy, brushes, combs, tweezers, those weird things that women use to make their eyelashes curly,
Mm-hmm.
and any number of things, moisturizers, perfumes, yada, yada, yada. Of course, it matters how big a surface you have. But regardless, it's about being deliberate, putting things on there that you are proud of, that you like, that you use on a regular basis. After that, everything goes in a drawer. And that's a second step to decluttering. Let's do the countertop first. Let's have it clean as a whistle. And then we can figure out what to put in the top drawer, things you use most often. The second drawer, things you use less often. And the bottom drawer, things that are stored away either as replacement soaps or replacement shampoos or what have you, blow dryers. You know, blow dryers are big no matter what we have with a blow dryer. It's always this weird clunky thing that looks like a shaped like a gun. And there are places that have holders for that, but it's always very clunky. And if you do your hair every day, I understand the blow dryer needs to be nearby, but it does not need to be on the counter surface where the perfumes and the toothbrushes are.
Hold
I
on.
like
I just put it under my sink yesterday. You know what I put it in? Ready? You know when you go to the hospital, if you've been to a hospital, you get those like the water bucket. It has a handle and it's like a round thing. Well, I
uh-huh.
use those to wash out the tub with my kids, and they hold the handle and have a few of them. When my mom was sick in the hospital, and then I was in the hospital. But I actually put it in one of those buckets because it's the weirdest, obnoxious thing to sit, but it's sitting in my cabinet now in the bucket. I found use for something.
All right, so there you go. So you use something you didn't
Yep.
really have a use for. That's called repurposing. I took this
Yep.
picture thing from
Mm-hmm.
the hospital, and now I
Yep.
have my blow dryer. I a little aside, blow dryers. I get that they are necessary use to make your hair look a certain way that your hair doesn't look. Um, I just think it hurts your hair putting all that heat on it every day and every time you go out to introduce curls, to take curls away with a curling iron. Who invented these machines? I unfortunately I think it's men. I think
Mm-hmm.
somehow in the history of the world, men decided women need to look better than they already do. So let's introduce high volume of heat and air to your hair. Hair to your air. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Oh, we're running out of time. I'll continue on.
No, go,
So,
go, go. We got 8 minutes. Go.
oh, good. Um, oh, here's a question from Betty from Baltimore. Betty says, do I need bins and baskets to organize things? A great question, Betty. What happens is a lot of times when I get started with a client, they go, I need to go shopping. I need to go get some bins. Which bins should I get? How many should I get? Oh my God, a shopping opportunity. And I say, hang on there. Hold on there, Baba Louie. Don't get the bins before you declutter. Get the bins after you figured out, what do I need the bins for? Hello. So I know people like to go retail shopping and that's considered therapy, but do it after the fact, because at least when I clutter clear a project, I find that there's 20 to 30% more space. And with that space, I also find that I can reuse and repurpose, consolidate things into one bin that you or a client might have had in 3 bins. So I end up with extra product. I end up with extra bins, oftentimes without tops, but that's something that we can rectify after the fact. So I do not recommend buying bins ahead of time. And baskets are a funny thing. It's a personal choice, of course. Baskets are beautiful. They're usually made out of some natural fiber, so that's nice to add to the house. Sometimes they're made out of wood, sometimes plastic, sometimes I don't even know. But baskets are a troublesome product to store things in. If you have a basket of flowers, for example, that's one thing. If you have a basket with fruit in it, I get it. But baskets to store paper, magazines, remote controls, baskets are curvy. Our stuff isn't curvy. A remote doesn't bend. It's a straight rectangular thing. So it needs kind of a rectangular bin of some sort. So I don't recommend baskets for storing things. Otherwise, if you store a bunch of magazines inside of a basket, who looks at the bottom magazine? You can't even find it because you have 16 magazines on top of it. So ixnay on the basket snay. I don't recommend those for organizing. I do recommend them for decor, decoration, storing things that are round like fruit. Makes some sense. Woo, Betty from Baltimore. What a great question. Oh,
Go ahead, bring it on. Who's next? We got time for more.
I got Sean from Sunrise, and she's asking, how do you handle confidential or sentimental items? Great question. Let's take confidential stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, I work under HIPAA laws. So I do see, especially in the bathrooms, a lot of products and a lot of things that maybe are kept private, but for the most part, but I come in with professionalism. That's what I meant. I come in with professionalism. I don't make comments about different things that are, let's say, battery operated. That's everybody's personal choice. But I do like to say what I see and what I find is strictly confidential, just like HIPAA laws. I don't share anything with anybody. The other thing about confidentiality is finances. A lot of paper, especially in the file area, in the tax realm, shows people's income, shows people's net worth value. So it behooves me to say and to actualize this. I don't share the information with anybody. Therefore, there's a building of trust and professional attitude about things. So with confidentiality, mum's the word. Nobody hears anything outside the room with the client that I'm working with. Sentimental items, that's a little bit different. Sentimental items require time. Sentimental items are things like photo albums, pictures, old trophies, letters from loved ones. I just recently worked with a client who lost his wife and she died of a disease. And so every document, every letter, every card that he sent to her and she sent to him was held in high regard for obvious reasons. This is a way to connect with your lost loved one. So it's very important to take your time with sentimental items. It may be something that you actually come back to because it is such a sensitive subject. I pride myself on working with people that have enormous amounts of personal and sentimental items, and we go through it slowly. And by all means, it is not the first thing we tackle. We tackle things like those extra toothbrushes in the bathroom, that extra toilet paper that you don't know where to store it, things like that that don't have such a charge of energy and or are one of a kind. So sentimental things are handled more gingerly and more discreetly and in a way where the client feels total trust and love. And sometimes it's a rainy day, sometimes there's a good movie on in the background where you go through photo albums or boxes of photos. I will say this too. If you're keeping videos, if you're keeping CDs, and if you're keeping photos in a garage or an air conditioned space, immediately you should take that inside and put it in air conditioning. You're eroding the quality of your sentimental items by keeping it in a humid garage. So very important to have air climate control. Also with storage units, you don't want to have this boiling, baking, closet garage with your most prized possessions. So very important to just maintain and take care of these sentimental items. Same with record albums as well. One more question.
Sure, go ahead.
Mary from Margate. She says, how do you ensure that your system is maintainable? So this kind of makes sense at the end of our time together. Once I clear the clutter, it's really up to the client from Cleveland to clarify. No, I'm just using CL words.
Okay.
It's up to the client to maintain. How do you maintain? Well, the first thing is to recognize, oh, I really enjoy my home free of clutter. I really enjoy the things that I own. I really enjoy people coming over to my house, so I would like to keep and maintain an organized, clutter-free home. But we're human. Suggestion: work on habits. Work on things that come into the home. Every day, what comes into the home? Your shoes. Take them off. Who needs to track dirty shoes around the house? Take them off and find a neat, orderly place in the front of the house. Yeah. Secondly, you bring home mail. Less and less nowadays, but get that mail in the garbage or the recycling bin. You just don't need to know how much the house sold next door for, so you don't need all that real estate paperwork. Or you don't need a plumber, let's say, so get rid of the plumbing stuff. Those magazines like Value Pack magazines that show all this stuff, throw it away, get rid of it. Yep. Just remove it from your life, because while it came into your life, you're under no obligation to store it, keep it, or...
Love that you say that.
Habit changing is really that mindset that I keep bringing up. Also, as a professional organizer, I do monthly maintenance. I come back to the client and I go, let's look around. Let's build up our muscle memory for habit forming, good habits. How to put things away once you've taken them out. Scissors is a good example, right? We take out scissors. I love to have fresh flowers. You cut the bottoms off and you leave the scissors around. Well, that's a danger to kids, to pets, and to yourself. So put the scissors back in the scissor drawer, wherever that may be. Also, you're doing a great big pasta sauce, and you have a ladle, and you have a pasta dish, and you have all these things that really need to be soaked once you've used them, and put away once they're clean. Do your what am I trying to say? When you have a dishwasher and it's half full, but you don't put anything else in it for 2 weeks, guess what happens? Stinky poo.
Ugh, gross. Bacteria.
So either fill it up or run it at half, which I don't recommend, or just wash everything and have it done. I kind of grew up in a household, again, we're talking habits. I grew up in a household where we didn't have a dishwasher. So I was raised in washing dishes, and I just happen to like to wash dishes pretty much as I'm going. So in the kitchen, my wife loves this. In the kitchen, as I'm making a salad, as I'm putting something together, I'm kind of cleaning up as I go. This is a habit. If that's not your style, then at least once dinner is done, you've got these piles of things in the sink, which is clutter. Either rinse them out so that they're not gross the next day, or ideally wash them, and secondarily put them in the dishwasher if you're going to have a full load. Run the dishwasher that night, and in the morning, c'est la vie. You empty out the dishwasher. It is free of dirt and grime and smell.
Love it. Love it. Oh, you are great. I love you with the doctor jacket on. It's amazing. All right. We are out of time now. We got to wrap it up for today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure to be with you.
How do we contact you, Doc?
561-706-7779 is my number for texting, for asking questions, showing me your concerns and your issues. 561-706-7779, or online at aplusclutterclearing.com.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch. Always appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.
See you next week.
This is the Global Podcast Network. where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.